Hey there, so it's transmission maintenance day. I am doing a 50,000 mile oil change. I wouldn't call it a flush because we're not flushing, we're just replacing what's in the transmission, putting in new, fresh WS fluid. And I want to show you my setup that I've rigged up. This works pretty well, and so here we go. So, first things first, I'm using a 1 gallon sprayer that I got at Lowe's for, I can't remember, 10 bucks probably. I have made marks of where each quart of oil gets to. From there, I have I bought this valve from Amazon. Hard to see, but it's pretty, seems pretty heavy duty. It's plastic, but seems to do the job pretty good. I put zip ties there to hold the hose in place to the barb, so that it doesn't slip out when this guy is pressurized, which currently it's pressurized, and I'll show you. Well, it was pressurized anyways, so that's that. And then I have the hose there hanging on this 10, I think it's a 10 quart bucket. It works pretty well for my setup. I have it sitting inside one of these little oil catch cans that I got from Dollar Tree, I think, for $1, just in case it spills. But I've never had these issues because I drain 3 quarts at a time. The reason for that, it's what's in the oil pan. It holds about 3 quarts, so drain out 3 quarts, then pump back an additional 3 quarts, run the engine, let it pump out, cycle basically what you just put in as it's cycling what's in the torque converter and other lines. So that's that. As far as how it's hooked up, I have it on, there's 2 lines coming out of the transmission. I don't know if you can see it, but basically the top line is the return. When you look at your transmission lines, the top line is going to be the return line, what goes back into the transmission. The bottom line is the cooling, or I guess the going out line. That's what goes to the inline radiator cooler. But in my case, I have bypassed that, and I'm just running a big air-cooled cooler. It's a different video. I put a link in the description for you to see if you want to see that setup. But anyways, that's a story for a different time. So anyways, the shiny silver thing that you see there, that's actually an inline oil filter magnifying. So I have that coming out into the big container. Pretty easy, right? And then the fill line that you see here, this is on the return side of the cooler line. So this is going, the reason I have it this way is it'll push the oil fluid that's in the cooler back into the oil pan. So whenever the transmission pump starts pumping out oil, you are sucking the old oil and cycling in fresh clean oil into the whole system. I hope that makes sense. It's sort of kind of confusing and pretty simple. So pressurize this, goes into that line, into the return line that goes to the oil cooler. That gets sent back into the oil pan, and from there, once you turn it on, it's pretty simple. If you are doing this solo, it pumps out 3 quarts every 15 seconds approximately, depending on how cold your engine is or how hot. Right now it's probably sitting at about 80-90 degrees temperature, so the RPMs are a little bit high, and it pumps out about 3 quarts every 15 seconds. So if you're doing this solo, keep that in mind. Keep a timer on you. I have a remote start, so that's how I'm able to do it, and I'll show you here. So I'm going to turn this on, and it's going to pump out about 3 quarts, which I already pumped in a little bit ago, 3.5, because it pumped out 3.5. So here we go. See, and as you can see, there is the oil fluid coming out. So make sure you keep an eye on that. as I'm keeping an eye on the timer. All right, so shutter down, and we have approximately 3 quarts in the oil pan, and that was about 15-18 seconds. It looks like it's going up a little bit more, still draining. So yeah, that's my setup. Pretty simple. Right now I have put in 6.5 quarts, and I have pumped out 9.5 quarts, so almost halfway there. So now I'm just gonna pump in another 6 quarts total, and I'll be done and replace that inline magnifying filter that I showed you there a little bit ago, that guy. So some people ask me on Facebook if I replace the inline, or not the inline, the transmission filter. I did the first time, not the second time, because it's only a strainer, so it's able to filter like big rocks, and if you lost your 10mm in there, it's gonna be able to filter that. But if you're wanting like hair size particles or even smaller, micron size, then that's not gonna catch, and that's where this guy here comes in place, the inline oil filter. Also, the inlet side of the filter is magnetic, and so it's able to filter any magnetic particles from the I guess the clutches or any metal that's wearing out. But haven't had any problems with this. It's been running excellent. The oil filter and the oil is have 50,000 miles on them, so I'll be curious to see how that filter looks like once I open it. So yeah, there's that. Pretty simple setup, nothing too hard. As you can tell, I didn't get messy. The only messy is once you set everything up, but other than that, it's pretty easy to go. So that's all. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, or hit me up on Instagram at the tag below. Yeah, hope you have a good day. See y'all later.